Hello and welcome to Let's Look at Shovel Knight. I guess that's not welcome to Let's Look at doesn't really make a very good sentence, and I apologize for that. Either way, this is Shovel Knight. This is the current indie media darling. It's kind of a heroic story of a successful Kickstarter that got 5 times as much as it asked into the most extremely hotly anticipated gaming development cycle into what you see here, which is just a title screen, and that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this Let's Look at Shovel Knight, and yeah, definitely pick it up. No. Okay. That's a bad joke too. Man, I'm all kinds of wonky today. Oh well. Either way, basically, yeah, let me explain by just jumping into the game. Alright, as you can see, I have a C decoy there. We're gonna start from the beginning. And this is going to be the alternate spelling here. C-D... Ooh, okay. Koi? Really? What else could I expect to be other than an unsuspecting or untrustable pond fish? So there we go. You can kind of get an idea of what kind of progress we're going to be doing there. I'll let you stare at that for a second. Actually, there's some things here that I'm noticing that I haven't gotten to in the game yet. Man, there's actually quite a bit of content. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and start right here, and I'll go ahead and let the intro play. Well, there's no voice acting, so I guess I could do it. Long ago, the lands were untamed and roamed by legendary adventurers. Of all heroes, none shone brighter than Shovel Knight and Shield Knight. But their travels together ended at the Tower of Fate, when a cursed amulet wrought a terrible magic. If it's bad, seriously, let me know in the comments and I'll stop doing this. When Shovel Knight awoke, the tower was sealed and Shield Knight was gone. His spirit broken, a grieving Shovel Knight went into a life of solitude. But without champions, the land was seized by a vile power, the Enchantress and her Order of No Quarter. This game is very wordplay and pun-heavy, prepare yourself. Now the tower is unsealed and devastation looms, a new adventure is about to begin. So there you go, dig in. Yeah, once again, I might go into it a little bit, but this game is super pun-heavy. So this is Shovel Knight. It is a very, very retro game-inspired type of game. Basically, you play as the titular Shovel Knight here, who is a knight who uses a shovel. Go fancy figure that kind of business. And yeah, you shovel things. You dig up piles of treasure. You can clear through sandstone blocks here, a la Minecraft. There's no crafting in this game, though, so don't worry about that. The shovel is, at this point, just very, very inherently associated with all things crafting. And yeah, no, and this is... You're pretty much looking at the game right here. There's all kinds of things in it, don't get me wrong, and we're going to look at a few of those things. But so far from what I've seen, there is a lot. Yes, major inspiration comes from Mega Man. You can also downstrike, by the way. You have shovel strike, downstrike, a la Scrooge McDuck. And... oh man, where was I? But yeah, very heavily influenced by Mega Man. Very, very much so. You can kind of tell here just with the totally bitchin' music that's playing in the background. And the actual visual style is extremely well done pixel graphics. Probably some of the best pixel graphics I've seen in a long time. And I kind of covered this in Magicite, where it seems like pixel art is sort of overdone. But for me, I mean, I kind of draw the line where, you know, we start looking like Mac games and whatnot. Here's our first sort of Mega Man-ish mini-boss. We're going to go ahead and take care of him like this, because it's a lot faster. If you stand in front of him, he will take swipes at you with his claws, otherwise he moves around and you just have to be good at pogoing. And I happen to like pogo mechanics quite a bit. Okay, and then we can kind of hit stuff around as well. So, as you can see, I managed to hit that guy with one of his fellow skulls. And, yeah, so what other... basically, I mean, there's not anything this game hasn't referenced yet. I mean, really, this game is very reference-heavy, but it's done in an extremely tasteful and subtle way. And even so much as like the game mechanics borrow from a lot of things that you're just going to play and be like, I remember that from my childhood. Everything from like Mario 3 to little almost Sonic-y kind of moments, and Legend of Zelda, and there's so much of it. Like, my favorite combination is you do get the random guys who run around on the maps, a la Hammer Brothers from Mario 3, and you go in, and it's kind of like whenever you played a level from Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, or even Demon's Quest, or Gargoyle's Quest, I should say. Demon's Quest was the Super Nintendo one, and Gargoyle's Quest was a Game Boy adventure of the sort. Okay, we just picked up a picture with a piece of paper with a musical note on it, and we'll explain that. Oh, there's some gems here on the wall. But yeah, it's very, very super interesting just how they were basically able to make this, like, giant nostalgia bomb. And they did so well! Like, this is so far one of the most fun games I've played in the, like, 2D side-scrolling genre, even to, like, compare to something, say, like Magicite or whatnot. Now, you might have noticed this is indeed a Let's Look At, and it did just come out today, and usually Let's Look At's kind of imply that I'm not going to be doing like a full playthrough of them, and I'm not. I'm going to kind of play with the format a little bit. I think what I want to do is actually do kind of a walkthrough guide of the levels, because I don't think I could actually... the game starts out pretty easy. Excuse me, sorry, by the way. Oh, sorry. It starts out kind of easy, but there's definitely points where I have just been absolutely enraged with frustration at how kind of bullshit difficult it is. So I think I'm going to try to experiment with the format here and do some just walkthrough videos. Basically, play through the game, get used to the mechanics and everything else. I'm going to get the slime over here so I can get that gem, hopefully. He's going to take forever, so I'll just continue to pontificate. But yeah, no, basically, yeah, I just want to do, like, no talking, walk through, play through the game, show secrets, that kind of a deal, and then actually be able to just sort of deliver the game in that format and kind of split up the videos per level, and also continue to be able to just, you know, perform and educate you and everything else and give you something to watch. And maybe if you get stuck on the game, if you choose to buy it, which I highly suggest. By the way, another game mechanic, these are breakable in later levels. They're the checkpoints, so you respawn here if you die. And let's go ahead and demonstrate this really quick. So this is really cool about death. Those are bags of money that you just lost. You lose about a third of your money overall, and they get split up into these 3 bags, and they kind of scatter randomly, so sometimes they're completely unreachable, like they're just a little too far down for a hop jump like that, or, you know, any other number of particular scenarios behind a spike or something where you have to maybe put a little bit more thought into grabbing them. But as you can see, recovery really wasn't that difficult, and we did manage to get all that money back, so that's pretty much your only penalty. And it is kind of like Dark Souls, for those of you who are familiar with it. Those money bags are cleared out if you die again. So you basically have to make it back to where you died in this very interesting sort of progression encouragement mechanic, as I choose to see it at least, where, yeah, it's like, okay, you got this far before, you can do it again, and then you can get all your stuff back as a reward. So, yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's a really interesting thing to do. But again, yeah, it seems like this game has borrowed, like, the best of so many different little games, and it's so subtle that it doesn't feel like it's ripping off. Like, it definitely feels like it's made it its own kind of thing, where, you know, this is now a feature of the game, and all is really awesome. Okay, there's a skeleton in there. I forgot about that. Okay, cool. I have played through this bit, naturally. This definitely does not take an hour to get through. There's a treasure chest over there, which means there's a wall over here we can attack, and whammy. There's that. So, yeah, there's a ton of secrets, lots of attackable walls a la Castlevania, or I'm trying to think of any other particular game that really made use of very sneaky, destructible walls, and it's not necessarily coming to me at the moment, but you get what's going on. But yeah, it just, oh, my thoughts are all over the place with this game, because there's just so much to really talk about. I think it's really, really good, and just invigorating. Like, it's such a refreshing take on the 2D platforming genre, and it combines so many different elements of things that I like. I mean, controls are kind of, like, a little weird to get used to, because there's a little bit of an acceleration to it. You can kind of see it there. When you hit things with your shovel, you bounce back a little bit, so it's not going to be like this immediate one-to-one familiarity with how to play the game. It's going to take a second to learn and get kind of good at it. I know I definitely died twice on this level the first time I played through it. Oh my goodness, and I still make really dumb mistakes. I could have sworn he would have been dead by then, and I didn't want to fall in the pit afterwards, but I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have bounced and been fine. No, and then you get situations like that where I very, very nearly died. There's trick jumps, there's all kinds of fun things. Those are bottomless pits, and I have not found any bottomless pits that did not kill me, although I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, maybe that was a inevitable part of the game in the future where some secrets are going to be in places that are fairly unintuitive or perhaps even terrifying to try to explore. Okay, let's just keep bouncing here. We got slimes in the grass. And, but yeah, I mean, it's really cool. This is just sort of my genuine... I haven't played through the whole game, so I can't really call this a review necessarily, but I think for the $15 price point it's on, especially it got released during the Steam sale, that really kind of sucks. So it's probably... I mean, if they actually put it on sale, that would be amazing. But, by the way, yeah, you can go left. That's a thing. And... yeah, and it's released during the Steam sale. It's $15, but so far it's completely worth it, and I think these guys deserve every penny that you pay for this game. Let's just bounce across here, kill some beetles. We're coming up to the end of this little area, and we'll move on to the next section, but and I'm just gonna gush as much as I can up until that point. But yeah, I mean, basically, so far so good. This game is really awesome. Okay, here we go. Here's our first boss. I knew you'd show your face sooner or later, the cerulean coward! Yeah, I'll just skip through this and you can see it if you play, but yeah, basically this guy's going to threaten us and taunt us a little bit and get us prompted into a fight here. So he's basically our dart counterpart. Oh, and I'm going to try to pogo stick him because that seems to work really well. Although hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate a mechanic here that's actually kind of cool that I haven't taken nearly as much of advantage of as I should have by now. Let's see, here we go. You can hit things back with your shovel. Pretty much anything that flies around projectile-wise in this game is returnable, a la Ganondorf, Agnaheim, any number of Legend of Zelda mini-bosses. Totally an option. There we go. And that does damage, and it's good. Okay. I need to play it a little bit cooler here. Don't want to die. That would just be embarrassing. I'm on a pretty decent roll here. Okay, there we go. He's got 1 hit left. I've got 3, so these are good odds. And... there we go. And crazy flashy background. And yeah, cheers. Got 1,000 gold. There's no actual points. You might see like little point numbers pop up, but that's always money. It's really good too. And he's gonna run away. So we'll probably end up seeing him again, and he'll become the bane of our existence through our entire time playing. So this is kind of a fun little moment too. You see him camp. After every level he completes, you can see him camp. And he kind of drifts off into a sleep. Into a sleep, sure. And there's Shield Knight, falling through the sky. And now we're teleported into a very interesting El Shaddai sort of realm there. And it was just a dream. So, you jump, wake up, put out your fire. It's also... that's worth a achievement as well on Steam, which I thought was kind of cute. So, and here we go, and here's our world map. And as you can see, we've got a very... the Mario Brothers 3 vibe is pretty strong on the map section for sure, especially whenever the guys pop up and start running around. And we can go to this village. So, village has got a ton of people here. It's like, halt, no weapons. We have enough to worry about lately without everyone swinging swords around. Oh, ha, that's no weapon, just a shovel. You may enter then. Don't forget. Press up to talk to everyone. So, yeah, you can talk to everyone. There's plenty of fluff. These guys walking around are kind of transient, but yeah. Here's a secret. In Pridemore Keep, keep going left first is right. Going left first is right. Yeah, so it's basically telling you as soon as you start that level, you want to go left for a secret. Now we have a bard, so that music sheet that we picked up, he will pay us for, so it's actually worth quite a bit of money. And then we can just change the song in the background here and while we're in town, so we can just go over here. Here we go. Strike the Earth, which is, yeah, that's pretty much a Dwarf Fortress reference in my mind. I don't care what else it's supposed to be. Let's see, we get over here. Here's kind of our stat management area. We can go over here and, pottage and poultry, mutton and meat. Your maximum health will increase if you eat. I love it. It's so good. They really did go all out to kind of provide this kind of humorous writing style. Okay, so we could buy a meal ticket from the goat here, who will actually just eat meal tickets if you let him. And, then, yeah, it's kind of funny that way. Like, Apparently, he's trying to decide if he wants food, but he just sits there and eats the meal tickets nervously. And then we can pick up this, and we got a max life +1. This will increase our mana. Let's see, maximum magic, but you need relics. So relics are what they refer to our spells, and we can go down here and grab our first one. We have a little tavern. So, new face, dancers, acolytes, witches, goats, everyone's welcome in here. And Juice Lady. Oh, that Spectre Knight! If someone could defeat him, I would bestow upon them my greatest treasure. So you get sort of quests. They're not your standard sort of quests, but they are quests nonetheless, and this witch gives you really, yeah. My third eye knows your useless infos. Excavatio, the number of dig piles you've dug is 7. Aurum Inferiosa, the amount of gold you've collected. Thanato Refutatum, number of times you've fallen in battle is 1. Oh, that's right, I purposely fell down that pit. The total time you spend adventuring is 13 minutes. Yeah. Thanks for helping me, kindly witch. I'm not a witch! And then you can destroy this wall over here. There's a little minigame to play, which is kind of fun. It takes a while to play, so I don't want to totally eat up time here, but yeah, you can hit things around and you get money and items for it. And basically it's kind of like, imagine what do you call it, the wall breaking type style of game, except you're actually hitting these little pots and they go flying at these targets and then you get points for it. And yeah, you impress Witch Lady over there and everything's good. I'm not a witch! And then over here on this side you've got this guy. Hey, Shovel Knight, I know things are tough, but don't throw in the trowel. He's very proud of himself. Shh, that King Knight, you give him an inch, he thinks he's a ruler. There's also an achievement for listening to all of those, which I did, and they were glorious. And here we go. Hello, fish friend, I'll help the Truffle King. Who? Yeah, you've never heard of the Trowple. Trowple. This is kind of a weird word. Half trout and half apple, pronounced like mouthful. Trowple. He's one of the forest gods in order to help in need. I'm telling the truth. If you ever visit the sacred grotto, yep. So you can get this. This is basically like your jars in Zelda. So you can pick that up. And then over here is Chester. Hey, blue guy, you wouldn't believe the merchandise I have for you today. Yes. So you can get a fishing rod, which I haven't actually used, and a chaos sphere, which is going to be our first relic. So you can actually, there we go. Now we can cast spells, and they have various uses, and they use up our magic count. So now we go up here. We still have 1,200 some odd gold. And I want more use out of your relics? Oh yes, of course. Can I increase your maximum magic? Good. I don't know, that was kind of weird. Maybe I read that wrong. And so here we go, we buy this. Oh, we don't have enough gold. So that'll increase our magic by 10, which will be useful in the future. And then we just sort of continue on. There's other people here to talk to. We got this hedgehog bro. Are you really the Shovel Knight? Prove it by digging up this dirt. Got it. In like Flynn. Wow, incredible! You really are Shovel Knight! So, there we go. And then we have this poor lady who we're gonna make her life fairly miserable here in a second. There we go, it's over, no big deal. And then we get treasure. There we go. All this and more in Cardboard Decoy's walkthrough of Shovel Knight. But yeah, so that's basically kind of what you're dealing with. Those are your basic setups. We have locks here. We have to defeat Spectre Knight to open up this one. We go over here to fight Spectre Knight. And then down there is some treasure to the south. And then up here is the Trowple King thing. Half trout, half apple. Dude wasn't lying. So, yeah, that's Shovel Knight in a nutshell. I really highly suggest it. I think this game is super fun and very interesting. And if you want a challenge and it's kind of an old school play style, it's definitely super good for that. And so, yeah, go pick it up. Go to Steam. I don't care if it's not on sale. Stop complaining about it. Spend those $15. Do it. Do it. But yeah, good game, good people, and great oldies. I will leave you with this. this has been Cardboard Decoy looking at Shovel Knight, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider like, commenting, subscribing, and I will see you next time. Have fun.